Hi, my name is Rachel Gill. I'm a DBT peer mentor and a BPD peer advocate. You can contact me at ilovedbt@gmail.com and check out my website at ilovedbt.com. And I'm the person who created this movie for you, and it's presented by me. And I'm not a licensed mental health professional, so please use this at your own risk, and please do not mistake that this is meant to be an alternative for any sort of professional mental health that you may need. In this section, we will be learning the emotion regulation skill, Check the Facts. Check the Facts is a skill we use to determine whether our emotional responses are appropriate for a given situation so that we can figure out what skill might be useful in helping us to better regulate problematic responses. For instance, if our emotion fits the facts, we may want to use mindful to emotion to help us process the emotion and experience it effectively. If our emotions do not fit the facts, we may want to use opposite action to help us to counteract our response. First, I will go over the questions you can ask to check the facts, and then I will go over with you the specific criteria for specific emotions to help you to determine the facts for a range of different emotions. Now first, let's go over the questions to ask yourselves when you want to check the facts. First, you want to ask, what is the emotion I want to change? Next, you want to ask, what is the event prompting my emotional reaction? Then you want to ask, what are my interpretations, thoughts, and assumptions about the event? Next, you want to ask the question, am I assuming a threat? And what's the catastrophe, or what's the worst that can happen if you experience the emotion or feel the emotion, or what's the catastrophe about the event? And then, does my emotion and the intensity of my emotion fit the actual facts? So fear fits the facts when there is a threat to your life or that of someone you care about, your health or that of someone you care about, and your well-being or that of someone you care about is threatened. Now, anger fits the facts when there is an important goal that is blocked, a desired activity is interrupted or prevented, you or someone you care about is attacked or hurt by others, you or someone you care about is insulted or threatened by others. Now, the thing with anger is you also want to, even if your emotion does fit the facts, you also want to ask, is the intensity, fit the facts? So let's say, your boyfriend or girlfriend forgets to take out the garbage like they said they were going to, and you get upset, right? Well, okay, so an important goal you have is blocked. So anger would maybe fit the facts, but turning around and going, you stupid jerk, how could you? You never do anything, and really getting upset and just kind of blowing up on them, even though it would fit the facts, the intensity might not fit the facts. You might not need to get so angry to be able to express, that something that you wanted was blocked or not. Now, disgust fits the facts when there is something you are in contact with that could poison or contaminate you. Somebody you deeply dislike is touching you or a loved one. Or you're around a person or group whose behavior or thinking could seriously damage or harmfully influence you or the group you are part of. Now we move on to envy. Envy fits the facts when there is another person or group that gets or has things you don't have and that you want or that you need. Now, jealousy fits the facts when there is a relationship or thing in your life that is very important and desired by you. An important relationship or thing in your life is in danger of being damaged or lost. Someone is threatening to take a relationship or thing important in your life away from you. Now, love fits the facts when who or what is loved does things or has qualities that you value or admire. Loving the person, animal, or object enhances the quality of your life or those you care about. Loving the person, animal, or object increases your chances of attaining your own personal goals. Now, sadness fits the facts when you have lost something or someone irretrievably. Things are not the way you wanted or expected and hoped them to be. And the thing about sadness is that a lot of times, especially like people, maybe if you have borderline personality disorder or just, emotion dysregulation problems in general, a lot of times we who have BPD can use anger as a way to block our sadness sometimes. So, sometimes, when my loved one doesn't come home when he says he's going to, I get really angry, but the fact is that I'm sad, but the anger comes on, and it might fit the facts, but it's also not really what's going on. But we'll talk more about how to be able to. That's more of like determining first and secondary emotional responses. But we'll get more into that later. But just know that sometimes when your emotions fit the facts, they might also be masking something underneath important. So, that's why you got to really ask yourself these questions to, how does it fit the facts, and really spell it out so that you can really have a good understanding of what your emotions are really trying to tell you. Now, shame fits the facts when you will be rejected by a person or group you care about if characteristics of yourself or your behavior are made public. Guilt fits the facts when your behavior violates your own values or moral code. So just remember, the difference between shame is when shame violates somebody else's code that's important, a group you belong to, and guilt fits the facts when you're violating your own moral code. So shame, someone else's moral code; guilt, your own moral code. Now, to determine whether the intensity and duration of an emotion is justified, you can determine that by, first, how likely it is that the behavior outcomes will occur, the expected outcomes will occur, how great and or important the outcomes are, and how effective the emotion is in your life right now. So like, we were talking about anger before. A lot of times, anger can fit the facts, but how often is expressing anger actually really effective? Probably only if there's someone in danger, and you have to act physically. But in this day and age, that's so rare. So a lot of times, the intensity of our emotion with anger might not be appropriate, and or just the emotion itself might not be appropriate to express. But how great or important the outcomes are. So if it's something that's really important to you, then the more important it is to you, the more intensity of the emotion is going to be fitting the facts.